Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge Podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider for Clutch Points, joined on this fine Tuesday evening by Raj Chipalu. Raj, we are a matter of days till we hear from Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick. We are less than a week from Media Day, which means we are about a week away from training camp. We are a couple weeks away from the first preseason game. I already saw you send out a clip of a set that the Lakers ran with Austin basically as the fulcrum, and I think he set a screen for Luka.
Yes.
And then LeBron, went with the stampede cut that led to a dunk. We are almost there. We are. It's so close we can taste it. Kind of like my lemon garlic butter pasta from the other night. It is right there.
Yes.
You can taste
it. Right. Yes. I'm giving football people one more week. You guys have one more week to dominate the timeline. It's been every day. I'm not online as I usually am during the season, so it's fine for now. But yes, you guys have about a week left before basketball starts, and I just don't want to see keep it on Sundays, maybe on Monday, fine. Sunday afternoons, you can have it. But yeah, Lakers season is about to start. I did enjoy this summer pretty nicely. I've been waking up at 5:30 every morning, going on a walk. That's something I can't do once the season starts. So I'm kind of enjoying this last week before the games get going here.
An early morning walk. Yeah, we walk Avery to school in the morning because her elementary school is about 10-minute walk away from the house or so. And that is a good way to start the day. Out here it's a little humid right now. So but in a matter of, I don't know, a couple weeks or so, we will be in peak walking weather, I would say.
Okay.
And might even extend the walk. Might even do some jogging. We're I'm kind of feeling myself here a little bit. I'm really, Raj, this is the most excited for a Lakers season I have been for in
2019. Going into 2019.
Yeah, the year after they won the championship, right?
Okay. 2020.
So because they won in 2019-20. So
okay.
The following season, right? Because they had a good. I still believe in that roster.
Incredible team.
I went into the season calling it possibly the most talented roster of my lifetime. Not the best team of my because that's all kind of dependent.
I think I remember that. And you got killed. You got killed for that. But I do kind of remember that vaguely.
Roster. They were so good before Marc Gasol got sick. It was Anyway. But today on the show, we're going to be talking about pressure. We are going to be talking about, as we get ready for Media Day and as we get ready for training camp and as we get ready for the season proper, we're going to be talking about who has the most writing on this season. The choices that I have on the list right now, and if there's anybody else that you think I should have listed, hit me with a name and maybe we'll address that candidate as well. But in no particular order, I went with Luka Doncic, JJ Redick, Rob Pelinka, or LeBron James, as far as people who have the most writing on this upcoming season. So with that being your choice there, Raj, who would you go with first and foremost here?
Yeah, that's so interesting. You would think to start with the general manager, right? Or at least the coach, maybe, because that's always the first fall guy, right? In the NBA, especially. I don't know if you saw this, Anthony, but in the New York Liberty let go of their coach.
Yeah, I did.
Liberty won the championship last year, and they let go of their coach, which is astonishing to me. But I guess most people kind of expected it. I think JJ is probably the one you start with here, just again as the coach. Last year, I think he did have a good season. I think that's a state in fact. The playoffs were what they were, and I think the playoffs have kind of changed a lot of people's perception on him. And he had a bad playoffs. I mean, that's also true. He really kind of stuck to his guns and stuck to the lineups that he thought was correct. Really died with his beliefs, right? You live with it, you die with it. He kind of died with the beliefs he had and the basketball philosophies he had. And I'm very fascinated, Anthony, because I'm trying to hammer this point home to a lot of people. And every time I come on this show, I go, how are we playing defense? And last year we did a lot of switching.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of switching. DeAndre Ayton's not a switch defender.
Nope.
Had some success here and there in places where he's a physical body, but not really a guy you can switch out to. I don't believe Austin, Luka, and LeBron are three people that should be switching at such a high rate. So I'm interested in how that works. But I'm interested to see how JJ approaches this. He's been very clear that he likes spacing. He pretty much wants to have one non-shooter on the floor maximum at all times. And I'm not sure he has the roster to kind of compensate that. But I think JJ is an interesting one to start with. I think he probably has the highest from just a pressure standpoint. If you were going to kind of look at the kind of measure it, I feel like JJ probably has the most pressure and to prove, because everyone else is, just for how the NBA works and how business sports work, the coach is the most replaceable guy out there. And I think he probably has the most to prove to start.
Yeah, I was torn between him and Rob. Okay. Those are the two people. Rob, because he's about to get new bosses. So we'll talk about Rob Pelinka probably next. We'll stay on the JJ Redick thing. And the thing that I know that people don't really like it when I point this out, but JJ Redick was a LeBron hire, right? He was hired to kind of usher in or end basically the LeBron AD era. And they did not hire JJ Redick with landing Luka Doncic in mind. And one thing we saw from this summer with Luka and the way that Rob Pelinka kind of operates, I don't want to whittle it down too. I don't want to like boil it down too much. What Rob Pelinka does or his approach to his gig or whatever, but like he's very much a facilitator, right? He's an executor for somebody who ideally the Lakers would employ somebody who has actual vision, and that person would spell out the vision to Rob Pelinka. Rob would come back with basically a menu, and you would work together on executing that vision. Rob, in this case, his vision this summer was Luka. It was, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to sign your buyout candidate center who you share an agency with. Marcus Smart gets bought out. Luka says he wants to go out and get the guy who has defended him in these great battles over the years, as well as anybody else, according to Luka, and the Lakers go out and get Marcus Smart. They need a backup center. They had their pick, that of backup centers on the minimum. They bring back Jackson Hayes, right? Another guy that shares an agency with Luca Doncic and specifically Bill Duffy. And it made me just kind of wonder, well, how far does this extend? Sorry, to JJ Redick, who, yes, they were teammates. Yes, it seems that they have a good rapport so far. And there's no reason to believe that like Luka would want JJ fired right away, but it's not his pick. He wasn't, Luka didn't, hand him a list of candidates and the Lakers walk away with JJ Redick. Also, after the season, JJ Redick will only have 2 years left on his contract. And that's about the time that you usually start talking extensions with a head coach, right? So, I thought he was objectively good in the regular season. Like I thought he did a fantastic job giving everything he had to juggle as a first-time head coach, period. Not NBA head coach, but head coach, period. At any kind of coach, right? Wasn't even an assistant either.
Right.
To go straight from the podcast studio to the sidelines and acquit himself the way that he did in the regular season was actually pretty incredible to watch. That said, all of those nice things, all of those good feelings, they go away pretty quickly given how that playoff series went. And given the fact that he played 5 guys for the entirety of a second half in a playoff game. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. And by the way, when he was asked about it, didn't exactly respond very well to the criticism either. So that's the behavior of somebody that the pressure kind of got to, right? And so you kind of talk about it all the way through. And I'm not sitting here saying that I don't think JJ Redick will be good at this, or that he's in trouble, or that the seat is hot, or anything like that. But as far as like you said, changes that can be made the most quickly, and the links to the people who matter here, he's got the most at stake. I think he's easily the most replaceable.
100%. And that goes for any coaches around the league. They are the most replaceable. They're just at the front, easily the most interchangeable. When you have a superstar in your prime, this is how it works. The expectations are high. I don't know how high, like in terms of title aspirations, the Lakers believe they are from the inside, but you have a prime superstar. Like, this is the expectations. You are expected to provide results. It's cool. I do think JJ, Rob, and the whole front office have a really good rapport. I think they have a really good relationship. I think they're on the same page. I'm pretty sure. I know you just mentioned all those guys are Luka guys. I am hoping these are also JJ Redick guys that he also got some information about and was able to be in the room with these conversations, right? And was able to say, yeah, that guy fits into what I'm trying to do in some capacity. Obviously, you don't go to the coach for, approval, but at least he's in the conversation that these are happening. So I do think all that's true. But again, coaches flip very quickly. The Lakers won a title with Frank Vogel. He was fired 2 years later. Like, these things flip.
Western Conference with Darvin Ham. He was fired, a year later.
Exactly. So the results matter here. And again, you, like, to put it frank, Anthony, like, you lost with home court in the first round.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Like,
and it wasn't close, dude. You lost in 5. Like,
I'll say
I know. Unbelievable.
Like, I'm on my rewatch of that series. Those fourth quarters were not, we're
all right,
incredibly tight.
If you lose the same way over and over and over again, does that take away from the proximity to victory that you actually had?
A little bit, but I would say that we lost in different ways. I would say, like, Naz Reid didn't miss in the fourth quarter for 3 straight games. Like some weird kind of. Again, I'm not discrediting the Timberwolves at all here. I do think we are at a major size advantage and lineup disadvantage that kind of caused a lot of these things. But in any case, that's neither here or there. JJ Redick needed to coach a better series. But yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of my favorite things that you do, right? When they got swept by the Nuggets. Oh, it was a close sweep, though. It was a close sweep.
It was 2 game winners in that series. Anthony, like, Jamal Murray had 2 of them in the same series.
Some girl like dunks like their drink on your head. It's like, oh, but it was a vodka tonic. It's not even gonna stain.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it was clear. It was almost like water, basically.
Yeah, the other point that I want to make here on Redick is not exactly the best staff of assistant coaches either. And I was kind of hoping to see some tweaks there, maybe an upgrade here and there, bring in somebody a little bit more proven on the offensive side of things, strategically. I know Greg St. Jean has that rapport with Luka, and he went and was there with Luka with the Slovenian national team, and that's worth something. It does allow us to hopefully draw a couple through lines between the things that Slovenia was doing strategically and some of what we would like to see the Lakers do a little bit more of next year. Yeah. But like at end of the day, I would say it's probably a slightly below average assistant coaching staff. And given that it's now it's not a rookie coach anymore, but given that, as it was being put together, people that I was kind of talking to around the league was like, well, they're at a bit of a disadvantage. The Lakers don't pay assistant coaches very well. You don't know how long you're going to be there because of how quickly the Lakers have cycled through head coaches in recent years as well. So that kind of makes it more difficult to hire assistant coaches. I was hoping that with the, impending sale, that we would see a couple of those narratives kind of spin on there, turn around a little bit. But as it's been kind of explained to me, everything is on hold right now in terms of, imprints on the organization, while the league, goes through all of the paperwork and finally, hopefully, okays the sale in the next, couple months or so, few months maybe. But yeah, like as it pertains to JJ Redick and this staff as a group, even if it isn't JJ Redick being replaced, a lot of these assistant coaches probably should, understand that help might be on the way, and it might be at their replacement, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, more minds are always, it depends, I guess, how big the coaching staff is. I think most teams, and the Lakers, I believe, did this, allow their head coaches to choose their assistants for the most part. I think Frank
Yeah, but
Vogel was
that's
kind
kind of
of,
tough with a
yeah,
rookie coach.
but I mean,
Like,
JJ's been around the league so long. He has so many connections, right? I mean, like this is not a normal rookie coach coming from, wherever. This JJ's played in the league for as long as he did, made enough connections, the way he did. So I think they kind of trusted that, he's able to kind of build his own staff. Obviously, again, results will kind of decide a lot of this. I'm not as close in terms of the information on all the assistants. I think this is a little bit of a rare situation where the assistants kind of have to help with Luka and LeBron and kind of holding the team together in that way versus, I guess, the other jobs that assistants do on other teams. But yeah, I think JJ is a good coach. I think he showed that he has high potential. I think he had clear flaws that most rookie coaches would do, and it's the reason why most rookie head coaches aren't tasked with championship leading teams. But like you said, now he's going into a second year, a little bit more. I'm sure he's more comfortable with the organization, more comfortable with lineups and being able to kind of get plays that he wants to run and setting in offenses. That's the thing I want to see the most. More creativity. A guy that literally had Mind the Game podcast, I'm hoping is able to kind of bring some of that creativity to the Lakers, in which I thought, Luka being sprung on him halfway through the season probably wasn't able to. And now with the summer that he had, the long summer, unfortunately, but at least for him, he maybe is able to prepare a little bit more and go into the season with a couple more things than he was able to last year.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm going to nag people close to the Lakers most about is how's the offense looking? What's like, not specifically what are y'all running? What's, nothing like that. But like the thing I'm probably going to be bugging people the most about is like, are they humming? Is the ball moving? Is it your turn, my turn again? All of that good stuff. Last point on JJ, and then we'll move on to, I think Rob, is going to be the next guy that we talk about. But last point on JJ, it struck me as interesting, not weird, not bad, not good, not anything, but interesting that JJ Redick was as quiet this summer as he was. That is a guy who had the media landscape at his fingertips before he took this Lakers gig. He was on LeBron's podcast. He was the centerpiece and one of the faces of ESPN's NBA coverage. He was on any show that he could have possibly asked to go on. After he took the gig, he was able to go on one of the most popular podcasts at the time in the Low Post, right? He could just walk onto any set and talk to anybody that he wanted to, and was silent this summer. And again, I find that interesting. Again, not good, not bad. I just think it's interesting because, that's kind of how the Lakers operate, right? I kind of wonder if he took a page from the organizational handbook where it's like, we aren't going to make any noise until there's some good noise for us to pump our chests about. Might have been that. It could have been, there's still some salt in the wounds, left over from how that playoff series went. And it's like, what do I even say about that? And also organizationally, this was a guy who the Lakers were basically like touting as a culture maker and a culture decider for the organization. That's what all head coaches kind of inherently are. They are one of the more frontward facing people
Oh yeah.
for NBA teams, if not the most. And yet we never heard from him. And I'm not making anything of it, then I don't have to make of it. But I did note that. I did find that interesting. So it's going to be I'm really curious to see what his first statements are going to be like on Thursday when he talks for the first time publicly since a disastrous playoff series.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long summer. We've gotten so many strange things, the LeBron quotes that are really, kind of dark and mysterious, that Rich Paul and the team put out. I think the main point is the one you mentioned. They went out in an embarrassing fashion. As close as I think the series was, it's very clear how the series ended up. You lose in five. And so, yeah, I think they went out in embarrassing fashion. There was nothing really to say. I'm sure the Lakers roster didn't change a crazy amount. It just added a few players, but not too many players exited the door. So it's a pretty similar roster. And yeah, I kind of like that. Like, I don't really need to hear too much from the head coach. I don't even think he did the summer league interview, if I have that correct, where you sit on the side.
He wasn't even there the first weekend.
Right. Yes. So yeah, not much to really discuss. I didn't really notice that until you mentioned that he was quiet for the summer, but I guess I find that a positive thing. I kind of like it coming to the season with just prepared with the work that he's done.
Yeah. All right, next guy on the list here is Rob Pelinka. To me, unless you have a different nominee.
I think that's the next guy for sure.
To me, I'll just really quickly go through it. Rob Pelinka is about to get new bosses. And he has been a made man in LA, under Jeannie Buss, and look, he also kind of deserves that, right? He won a championship. I'm not going to give him any credit for landing LeBron James. I don't think he factored into that decision even a little bit.
His name's on there.
I'm not gonna. I'm sorry.
He was GM at the time.
It's like it'd be like crediting Avery if I won the lottery. You benefit, but like I don't think you really did anything, kiddo. Okay. But
money's mine, yeah.
Yeah, eventually. But like, yeah, I'm looking at so I'm not going to give him any real credit for landing LeBron, but he did, resuscitate those trade talks with the New Orleans Pelicans because it was such a disaster when Magic Johnson was running those trade negotiations. They were able to figure that out. He did land Anthony Davis. He did build a title roster. And also very importantly, helped steer the Lakers through the post-Kobe in post-Magic, stretch, right? So you go through the actual traumatic loss of your franchise icon, and then your other franchise icon just decides to quit to tweet out of nowhere. And Rob kind of helps with steering you through all that to the tune of a championship. So like when I say he's a made man, I'm not making it. I don't want to make it sound like he doesn't deserve that to at least some extent. Mm-hmm. I don't think the latter half of the AD LeBron era has been very good. And it not being very good and him not pushing more chips into the middle of the table with those two guys actually negatively impacted their ability to compete when they got Luka. So there are, I think, plenty of criticisms to offer up to Rob Pelinka that his employers, by the way, Mark Walter has been a minority owner. Guggenheim has been a minority owner, or AEG, sorry, has been a minority owner of the Lakers. They know how Rob works. They've watched him work, and they probably have some thoughts too. So, now look, there is that like ambiguity as far as like, is Jeannie the controlling owner? Does she get to call the final shots? All of that stuff. We'll see what that looks like when the sale finally goes through. The precedent that's been set in recent years has been that the people who own the majority stake get to be the people who call the shots, and the league kind of forces that upon those situations. So we'll see if they continue with that here with Jeannie. But yeah, and end of the day, Rob is trying out, I would say, for the opportunity to continue to run things, throughout this Luka Doncic era.
Yeah,
I should have said he landed Luka.
Yes,
I should have also noted that one.
That should be in bold exclamation point. But
yeah,
I think Rob, it's interesting. His tenure to me is kind of what you believe. Again, we'll never know the real story because everybody has decided that they won't go 300 miles from it. But it's the Russ trade is kind of is in the middle of that section, right? You get the quick flip of the team into a title team. You get an amazing 2020 summer that you just mentioned, where even the Dennis Schroeder move, which is one that I actually liked at the time, Montrezl Harrell, 6th man of the year coming in. That was a really stacked team. Marc Gasol coming in, and right after that is the Russ trade, and that's to me where it feels like, at least just from listening to people speak about it, there's this line in the sand drawn between two parties who have to continue to work together. It's like, oh, you want Carmelo Anthony? All right, that's on your hands. You want DeAndre Jordan? Okay, AD, that's on your hands, right? Like, these are all these players. Carmelo Anthony, by the way, just did a podcast and said that his Laker years was one of his best seasons, which is not how I remember it. But in any case, yeah, so that's to me where
really kind of says something about how like Carmelo's career went, right? Like,
but
like the things that he valued. Like
Denver Carmelo, explaining that to my hopefully one day grandkids is going to be so difficult, because that was such an amazing player to watch, who just once he went to New York, he was pretty he was not really a factor anymore. But if I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm walking around with a shirt that says Luca Doncic plays on my team. Like, to me, that is a that is a victory lap that you get to run around. I mean, that, like, to me, that's the win. Like, to me, Rob's job this summer was to get Luka to extend that, and he's done that. And you could tell by all the stuff that's being answered, you can read between the lines that nothing else really matters. Like, everything else is kind of just on the side. Luka Doncic is signed and extended, and now we can go to work. Now we can go to work. Hopefully they've been doing work, but now we can start to examine the team and see how we want to make moves. But yeah, it's be interesting to see how he's evaluated. I do think the Luka thing is not some minor detail. Again, I think that's in bold exclamation points. However you think that trade went down, whether you think Nico Harrison is a person who doesn't know basketball, whether you however you feel about it, he was coaxed into this by Rob Pelinka, and he gets credit for that. His name's on the door or whatever it is of the guy who gets to decide that. And so I'd be interested to see how much he's really, like, people think his seat is hot. Anthony, do you see that? I don't know. I don't really see that.
Hot. Is his seat hot?
Yes. Like, when you're about to be kicked off the chair. I mean, he's sitting next to Luka and the owners in a sphere in Vegas, partying it up. Does not look like there's any nerves there. Like, feels like a guy that's very entrenched and very comfortable in his position. Not saying you can't be kicked off of that position, but I do think he will be judged, and maybe people will kill me for this. He'll be judged for what they do after this season. Like, in terms of, that's probably the real, like, final test marker for him of what did you do with this cap space and first round picks that you've obviously said you've been accumulating and saving for. But that's how I kind of look at Rob Pelinka right now.
Yeah, man. I don't know to what extent I'm willing to say how safe he is, because, like, again, he does have the Luka armor, and it's very
strong
well polished.
Armor. It's very strong armor.
It's that leather jacket that's like, dual reinforced with all the zippers and stuff. It's a
Maxi Kleber is walking around with it, and he just continues to get contracts, and he just has a Luka armor right on him. It's a strong armor.
Well, but like in Dallas, there were plenty of people who had Luka armor on, and they were showing the door.
They didn't have enough of it on. They had like a shirt. They had like a hat on. Like, Rob Pelinka has a full
A
vest and
Luka
pants.
Yeah.
He wakes
Rob's
up
in
in
Luka
77
SWAT gear.
pajamas.
Like he's just no, like I think that like I think this is the year that he gets judged on, not after this year. Because and the reason I say that, Raj, is because
Okay.
we headed into the offseason and the reporting, the speculation, the whispers and all that stuff, the wind was blowing in the direction of, well, they're gonna see how the season goes, and then they'll reevaluate once LeBron is off of the books, right? And they're gonna
Yeah.
go for Giannis, and they're gonna do this and that and the other. But then shortly after, and it was funny the way that it played out, and I didn't see anybody else make this connection, but Luka gets on a basketball court and realizes, holy shit, I'm really good at this, guys. It was like I don't know why nobody else like made note of the fact that Luka's because remember at the beginning of the offseason, it was like Luka's on board with whatever direction that the Lakers take and this and that and the other. But then Luka gets on a basketball court, the competitive juices start flowing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I'm like a top 3 dude in the world.
I'm 30 pounds down. What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
like I put in all this work. Like we're fuck next year. Let's go for it, you know?" And I think that like that's essentially where they wound up and had Luka not kind of had that epiphany, both in terms of his weight loss and what it was like to get back out onto a basketball court after losing that weight. I think you'd be right that, Rob would have this season to kind of not kick back, but reevaluate and reassess the situation and go into next year with that flexibility and optionality, right? His favorite term. But I don't think that's the case anymore. Luka looks really good. LeBron is coming off of an all NBA season. You have Austin on a discount. You like lucked out, or you were able to swing 2 starters for your mid-level exception. And by the way, you still have a first-round pick in your back pocket that you could be able to use at some point this upcoming season too. So, and you have all the expirings and you have all the stuff. Like, I do think that this is, and look, I'm biased because I feel like I've been recording this exact segment with Rob Pelinka for like half of a decade. But if I'm Mark Walter, this is your tryout. How many other executives would be able to have a reassessment year with this kind of star power on their roster? Nobody would be able to.
Yeah, I mean that's what's the interesting part about this. I think that's why I think LeBron is such a key figure in all of this, right? As he's been in his career, but I think he falls right in the middle of at least the reporting that's around it. And actually, the reporting was the epiphany was from the Lakers side, going, "Oh man, we saw him in your basket, and now we're kind of rethinking our kind of train tracks here." But all
Which is
the
insane.
yeah,
Like
I
the
mean,
Lakers needed to see him play against like Sweden. Like,
good. Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. He's good. He just took on Portugal. Way to go, Luca.
Well, I mean, they need to see the new body in action, right? They need to see the new frame in play or whatever it is. But it's why I think the LeBron thing is interesting because all the wording, right? LeBron did not get an extension. LeBron is in this weird middle spot of not committing, but he can't go anywhere because he opted in. So I'm just wondering how much the organization feels like, all right, this is a year we're going to do our best. We signed a bunch of expirings. We're not going to trade a single first rounder. We didn't make any real trades at all. And we're just gonna go into this. And is Luka? Were we able to get Luka bought into a 1 year? Just give us 1 year, and after that, we'll go get X player, whatever it is. And that to me is, I'm interested to see if that's a conversation. And I don't know how much Mark Walters is or is not already in like deciding what the actual full roadmap is. But that's what it sounds like to me this summer. That's what all the reporting, at least it sounded like. The Lakers are kind of holding their cards until the right moment to go after X superstar, one that maybe plays in Milwaukee or something like that. But, that's kind of been the reporting around it. And if that's what it is, then I'm not sure Rob is directly, like if the Lakers flame out in some way, then yeah, everybody's on the table. But this is a solid team, and if they make no moves at the deadline, I'm not sure how much Rob will be, I guess, cut for this team not hitting championship aspirations, because I don't think it's a championship favorite at all right now. Like Houston going down may change that, but yeah, I'd be interested to see how Rob is evaluated, because he does seem like a guy very comfortable in his position. New ownership obviously is going to step in, and we'll see what that is. He is getting a new boss, but his old boss is still running the stuff. You know what I mean? It's a strange situation. So it's not like he's directly reporting to anyone new, because contractually, I do agree with you. The precedent has been you become a minority owner and you tweet about the Clippers. But like, I think, but Jeannie does have this in her contract, which makes it a little bit different. So we'll see how Rob fares this year.
Yep. All right. Next one on the list. We have it, unless somebody else has a different name to bring up here, but it's between LeBron and Luka.
Okay. Yeah. I just can't put pressure on LeBron. Like, pressure and LeBron have kind of separated now. To me, they don't even. I can't really
goated.
Yeah, because he's what, 41 now. I mean, there's nothing he's proving this year that would change. But I'm interested in. I think a lot of people feel like there's a lot of pressure on Luka. This is kind of the age where players as good as he is do have the playoff success to back it up, right? He's 27 now. That's where a lot of the greats kind of won their first championship. And I do think, and he's put his words all out there. He has put it down that I'm coming in to kill. He's done 3, I don't know, like specials
profiles.
or profiles. Yeah, like features, kind of talking about what he's ready to do this year. So I do think there's pressure on him to carry a roster that's probably not, or to raise the floor of a roster that's probably not championship level. But your prime Luka Doncic, you can't be a 7-8 seed. Like, this is kind of what the best players do. They're able to hold a team up. So I'm interested to see what kind of pressure he comes in with, especially coming off a very competitive Eurobasket, where he was able to win some games against teams they were not favored against. But Luka's an interesting one to me. He would be in the Hall of Fame today if he retired. That's how crazy his resume already is.
Yeah.
But this is where players like him are judged on a different scale. They're judged on titles. That's just what it is. And we'll see how he comes in.
MVPs. He doesn't have one.
And the league has been trying to give him one. I mean, not hand him, but
yeah,
he has been the favorite for MVP, I believe, the last 2 or 3 years now. The NBA has tried to really push him up. But yeah, he's finally in shape. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, I don't think LeBron is entering a pressure-less season. So I want to talk about LeBron here in a second, but I'm with you. Like, Luka is the superstar on this team. He is a top 3 player in the world, and he is entering the peak of his powers, right?
Yeah.
This is when, like, 26, 27, that is prime years for guys. From then to like 31, 32, and then, or like in LeBron's case, 50. So,
right.
But like this is when, I think like Michael won his first championship at about 26, 27. I think LeBron won his first championship at about 26, 27. This is the time when Luka goes out and really etches his name in stone wherever he wants his name in stone, and I think, like, the danger with trading a player like Luka is that it inspires something in them. It winds up being the impetus for the type of lifestyle change that you wish that person would have, right? It's like the person who refuses to break up with their significant other because, but maybe, just maybe, she'll figure it out, or he'll figure it out, right? Maybe, just maybe, it won't take me doing that to get this person to make the type of life changes that I wish that they would make. And sometimes it works out that way, right? Jen got lucky, and we didn't have to, she didn't have to wait forever for me to figure my shit out. You know, we were able to live pretty nice, prosperous lives since. But for a lot of people, that is how it goes, where you do have to break up, and it does wind up being the breakup that person looks back on and says, yeah, I would not have made X, Y, or Z change without it. And then in the case of Luka here, not only did you get the breakup, but you got the Facebook post afterward highlighting why you got the breakup, why you were broken up with, you know. and I think that's I think, you know, frankly, the biggest storyline going into this upcoming season. You know, to what extent are those leaks and reports and the action of dumping him as publicly as the Mavericks dumped him, how, to what extent is that seared into his kind of mental and physical now makeup? That's you know, if he, like, because right now, right, there were pictures going viral of Zion Williamson at his media day, and how he looks incredible right now too. And it's like, I was going to send out a tweet of like, oh, we're doing this again, huh? But I didn't, because I would have gotten this you'd about Luka, because, you know, there have been plenty of pictures of Luka that we've looked at and ogled at and said, oh, damn, look at this guy. But there have been times in the past where he has looked great and then didn't finish the season looking great. So, yeah, I think there is a lot of pressure on Luka by way of being the superstar, the face of the Los Angeles Lakers. But I think even more to a greater extent, you're talking about, Raj, a 1%er in terms of NBA talent and impact entering his prime. Now is when you prove that you belong in that 1% class.
Yeah, there's some words when you're doing shows and podcasts you don't try to throw around too much, because it's very easy when you're, you know, highlighting someone to very much throw this around. But generational is a term I try not to use too much. Luka Doncic is a generational player. He's a generational talent. Even at the weight that he was at, he could have easily come in with the same, well, maybe not easily, the criticism would have been there, but his effectiveness and in his mind, he could have went, I'm already one of the best players in the world. I don't have to change anything. Why would I have to change? And maybe if he was still with Dallas, he wouldn't have changed, right? He was already leading a team to the finals. You know, that series wasn't as close, but, you know, was carrying teams to very high, prominent lands at the weight that he was at. And it was something that had to come from within him to change. So I'm very fascinated to see. This is the age where experience matches your athletic powers to a point where you don't really get that again, right? Like, again, 28-year LeBron, it's kind of sad that it was not wasted, but it was in Miami where so much other stuff was going on, where, again, I was a Kobe fan at the time. I'm still a Kobe fan, but like at the time I was kind of rooting against him. So I didn't really get to.
There was your team. There was your team, my team.
Yeah. So I didn't really.
Yeah.
So I didn't appreciate how freaking stupid every night LeBron was. Just like you go watch Miami clips and this is flying around, being a defensive monster and stuff that he still did in his 30s. But 28-year-old LeBron was like, there's no one touching that as an athlete mixed with skill. I think Luka Doncic has a chance not to beat LeBron, but his peak of his powers, I'm interested to see what that is. Because all the video clips are going around and go, look at Luka when he's skinny. It's like his rookie or second year, you know, where he's just kind of acclimating to what he is in the league. And now he has so much experience that now is going to catch up to a body and a mind that can kind of be on the same level field. I'm getting excited talking about this. I'm ready to go. Yeah,
I'm so freaking excited for the season. Last one then on the list is LeBron. And here's why I would argue that there's pressure on LeBron. Tell me,
what's the pressure on LeBron?
Because there's always pressure on LeBron. In what world are you chasing Michael Jordan and you get to enter I made it already season? He's trying to be the GOAT. He's trying to be like,
is that a race you think he's still like that people still look at and go, he has a, like, whatever side you're on, do you think they can change their opinion on? If you think Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, does a title this year change that? I don't think it does. I really don't think.
I mean, not to Jordan stands. No, okay. Like obviously not. But Raj, you're asking if people can change their minds. Come on.
Can they use new information to? Can they use new
having
information?
Debates over Tylenol. We're talking.
Oh, man.
But like, Anywho, but like the like this can all right, what would a championship mean to LeBron this season? Nobody, Raj, is ever touching being the second best player on a championship team at age 41. Nobody. Also, in terms of like personal pressure, he like this is something that I've heard dating back to before the Luka trade. But he really, really badly wants to win a championship with Bronny sitting there on the sideline. Like on a personal level, there's a lot of pressure there for that too. And I think that's part of the reason that like he and Clutch acted up the way that they did, because I think he saw a path with AD there. And then, you know, Luka shows up and immediately it's like, well, you know, Giannis is over there, and he caught wind of that, and he was like, hold on, I'm here. I just had a
Sure.
second team All NBA season, guys. We're talking about like what comes after me. I'm here,
Yeah.
and so like I think, you know, to that extent, there's always pressure there too, and look, like think of how much work it must take. So how old are you, Raj? You're what? I'll say this. I'm 38. I turned 39 in exactly a month.
Okay.
Okay. And in order for me to get into even like decent shape,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to feel like I like push myself to like near vomit for like a month straight. And I'm just telling everybody, sorry, Jen, it's not happening. I'm not like like it's not. So it's like, so I and I'm thinking about like, you know, me living in my 38-year-old body and the amount of work it must take for LeBron to look the way LeBron does at 41, 3 full years, you know, or
Yeah.
two and some change after where I'm at right now. That's insane. And for him to have done this for so long and to go out and do it again. You saw that picture with him and Rui today, right?
Yeah.
Like for him to look the way that he does again. By the way, he looks slimmed down, right? Like he looks thinner.
Both of them look a little slim,
Yeah.
but I mean it's September right now,
Yeah.
so you know once the season starts. But yeah, they both look a little slim.
But yeah, like I just think there is no world. Like you don't elevate your game to the heights that LeBron has elevated it to
Sure.
without always placing a ton of pressure on yourself. And think about how many people are out there, how many voices are out there who are just sitting there waiting to be able to say, "Ha, finally, LeBron's washed.
Sure.
Finally." And for LeBron to have the opportunity to have his career end and those people never get to have that moment, you know, and by the way, he could make sure that they never have that moment. They never get to say that thing and be right. And you have the chance at winning a championship. And you can do so, by the way, as like the second best player on a team. Like you can prove that you can just mold your game into whatever role that you need to mold your game into. Like there are so many things here that LeBron could shut his critics up with here with this season that like, yeah, I just, you know, does he have any kind of pressure on him in the same way that JJ or Rob do? Absolutely not. LeBron's not losing his job.
Sure.
You know, but does he have like, you know, all-time like historical pressure on him and the type of pressure that he puts on himself? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you look at LeBron. What is pressure? I guess for him, right? And maybe I'm not confusing pressure with competitiveness, right? I do think he's still extremely competitive and wants to win at everything he does. I'm sure he's getting competitive at golf now. He's posting himself playing golf with Bronny. I'm sure those are competitive matches in in different ways. But
Bronny's got a
I
good swing. Bronny's swing
this
is quite a bit better than LeBron's.
so they're nice father son bonding over golf. But
Yeah.
yeah, but in terms of pressure, I can't imagine. Like I think LeBron thought they were gonna win in 2023. And if you go back and listen to that post game presser, where I think he
Yeah.
dropped 50 in game 4 or whatever it was, trying to keep that season alive. Because again, would have played Miami the next round, a, a
Oh
7
yeah.
seed Miami,
If
and
they get through Denver, they win a
they
championship.
win a championship. And so I'm not saying LeBron is deflated or coming into the season without, the right motivation, but yeah, pressure. I agree with you. There's internal goals that he has. I'm sure like it would be nice to win a championship with Bronny. That'd be cool. That'd be a nice extra, thing on his accomplishments that he'd like to put on. But yeah, I think this is just like not comparing myself to LeBron in any way at all. But as a person who's like, just want to make that abundantly clear. As a person who themselves fell in love with fitness, like it's a routine thing, and I think he's just gotten so routine that anything else is just strange to him. It's why every summer, like the last two, I think he's kind of played with retirement, but the season comes along and he's probably going, what else am I gonna do? Like this is just what he's been in the
Raj,
NBA,
do
I
you know
think.
what options LeBron has as far as what else he could do?
But what else
Imagine
does
being
he
a billionaire.
but what else does he want to do? Right? Like what else would he like and he was at Vegas Summer League. He has no well, his son is playing there,
His
so
son's
that,
playing.
that was playing. But still, I mean, sat through the whole game. Like that's a guy that could probably be anywhere in the world he wants at a touch of a button. But yeah, and he's hooping around all summer. Not that it's not his job, but I think he gets into a routine, and I really think he does love basketball, and he loves the sport, and he loves the work, which is such a if you talk to anyone in any success in any industry, that's the cheat code, right? If you love the work, and I really think he does. And so that's why I don't think he's feeling himself any pressure on a night to night, or I'm not even sure the Jordan stuff really resonates. You would know, maybe talk to people that still resonates with him. But yeah, to him, I think LeBron's LeBron, and he's gonna be himself. He's gonna average his 28, 8 and 8, and I think sleep extremely peacefully with that. And we'll see how he does in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not under the impression that like it's the kind of pressure that would break somebody. But look,
Mm-hmm.
like, um, mortality's a mother bleeper,
Sure.
and he's looking at the end,
Yeah.
and like, he's looking at the end of this incredible career. This like you people can make the argument for Michael the player. They can make the argument for like Kareem the player if you want to do that. But nobody's career touches LeBron's, like in terms of what he's been able to do for the amount of time that he's been able to do it.
And no one will.
And yeah, you can make a real argument that maybe nobody ever will. And it's like still when you get this close to the end of it, it's that those knobs do turn up a little bit, especially when you still feel like you can't. Like it'd be one thing, Raj, if LeBron was just kind of finishing out his career and he was only averaging, 15,
Right. End of the
17 points
bench.
a night, barely playing 20 minutes a night. But that's not how he's ending. Like he's ending while still being I still have him, I think he'll probably average about 23 to 25 a night this season. I
Yeah.
think he'll probably average, I think his rebounds will be up this season. So I think, you're looking at like a 23 and maybe 10 type of year with, with 6 or 7 assists a night probably is. And that's what we're like, I can write that down probably in pencil, maybe even pen
Yeah.
at this stage of his career. And that's insane. And so when you're still as good as he is, and you still feel like, and you're still as competitive, we know how competitive he is. And you still feel like you can help a team win a championship. Also, by the way, another like weird aspect of this, and I know it's a point that LeBron fans don't especially love that I make, but like he kind of sort of soft launched a trade request and got no motion around the league. Everybody was like, there was the reaction to that clutch statement and Rich Paul's statement to ESPN was basically like, yeah, obviously we'd love to have LeBron. Is he going to be bought out? Like, is that, and but that in and of itself applies some pressure, like where you're LeBron and you're looking at the rest of the leagues like, really? After the year I just had, that's your
Sure.
guys' response here? And even that's like, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. Like, are we going to get a bleep you year from LeBron? That'd be pretty cool.
That might be where the pressure comes, right? I think LeBron, everything that you say about him, he wants to go out on his terms. That's 100% clear. He wants to go out when he says he goes out. He doesn't want to go out, as a bench player, whatever. And he's still too good to go out that way. But I think everyone's pushing him. Oh, LeBron, are you like? I'm sure the Lakers are having real conversations. Are you done this year? Is this your last year? When you're asking someone something and you're kind of like,
Yeah.
so is this? And so he's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And and so I'm sure LeBron wants to show that he deserves maybe one more deal, and again, kind of launch his retirement in the right way, be able to produce it in a way that he's able to have his retirement tour that he's 100% earned from his career. But that might be where the pressure is. If I have to say one thing, is I think he does want the exit to be produced by him and decided by him in terms of the timing and everything around it, in the year that it's going to be, which will be incredible and insane. So I think that's one place it could be. But everything else, like, does he want to win with Luca? I think he does. I think he thinks this team can win at a certain level. I don't know. I'm sure LeBron and Luca are psychopaths themselves and believe this is a championship team. That's at least I'm hoping they go into the season with. But that's where I see the pressure for LeBron. Everything else, I mean, this dude's just done everything. He played in the Drew League 2 years ago, Anthony. Like, this is a guy this is 2 years ago. Like, this is still 38-year-old,
Yeah.
9-year-old LeBron. Has no reason to play in the Drew League. Does not need to. Does not need the money. I don't even know if he was paid for that, but does not need anything from it. Went and hooped on some weekend in the summer. In a league. Like, that's to me a guy that just loves this stuff. And to me, the pressure's gone along. How many stars do you see playing the Drew League? I don't know. Has any?
Yeah, I mean, at that stage of his career, I don't know how many.
Forget any and DeMar DeRozan plays there, but he's kind of lower than the tier of star I'm thinking of.
I know Kobe played there one year.
He did. Kobe did play there.
All right. Last thing before we get you out of here, Raj, we had a question from earlier in the show. Robert Rockley asking, "Hey guys, KJ Martin Jr. was released today. Would you like to see him on the Lakers? Only 24 years old, 6'6", very athletic." Well, yeah, I would love to. They just don't have the space. They don't have the space. They don't like you would. He had $8 million non-guaranteed, and the Utah Jazz waived him this afternoon. Obviously the son of Kenyon Martin, crazy athlete, get way up there. Kind of a tweener, right? Like he's he's like a 4/5 in a 3/4's body. From what I've been able to see, but the Lakers are still at an athleticism and physicality deficiency, and he would help with some of that stuff. They just literally do not have the cap space to sign him.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I'm shocked that he was released. If the Lakers had the space, I would like it. I'd love him to be in our G League program if that's something that's available. If he doesn't get picked up at all, I'd like him to be in South Bay.
He's 24.
Yeah. He just can't be on
against it.
He just can't be on a 2-way, but he can be in the G League.
Oh yeah,
because he's played in the league too much. But yeah, that's a guy that I would bet on. LA kid, I think, if I have that right. But
probably.
Yeah.
His dad had money, so
yeah. But yeah, athletic forward who's a really good rebounder, at least from when he was getting minutes. I think he was working on his shot, has a little bit of a strange jumper, but yeah, really good rebounder, high motor athlete. Guys that the Lakers need, honestly. Young, athletic guys under 30 years old that can catch lobs from Luka. Be a fun guy to add if the Lakers had the space, but they don't.
He's got that like quick twitch. Holy go! He's in the air already. He kind of ups, like
yeah.
You look at him, and all of a sudden, I remember watching a game back when the Lakers had Wesley Johnson on their team,
mm-hmm.
and the seats that I had, Jen and I went to a game, and the seats that I had were eye level with the rim, basically. And it like shocked me how often Wesley Johnson's head was like at my height or higher. He was just like always up in the air. And KJ Martin, kind of operates in the same way.
Who's better, Wesley Johnson or Cam Reddish? Who would you?
Oh, Wesley Johnson by a mile. But I think he got a second contract, right? Like, I don't think Cam Reddish ever got like a non-minimum second contract. I think Wesley Johnson.
He was so talented though. Like Wesley Johnson did not become the player that I think it was number 7 or something out of Syracuse.
Yeah,
just incredible talent. Everyone's like, that's the next guy. And you watch him, like if you watch just some random game on a Tuesday, you would be like, God, who is that?
That's what I'm
like,
saying. I was there at that random game on a Tuesday, and I was like, how does this guy not wreck worlds? But he was a little too nice from kind of what I remember. I was covering the Lakers. I was like very, very early in my career, back when he was on the team, and he was just a super nice dude. Randomly, Kevin Ding wrote a hit piece about him after he I think he fired Rob Pelinka as his agent, and
full circle.
Yeah, I think that's what Harrison wrote the response to Kevin Ding's hit piece on Wesley Johnson when we were both there at Silver Screen. So maybe we'll have to go and find like what. But it was the weirdest thing how like Kevin Ding was really, really angry at Wesley Johnson for not being Kobe Bryant. Like that was the entire premise of a whole ass column from the LA Times. It was crazy, wild times. It was a different time.
Wesley Johnson era. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All right, a little bit of housekeeping. One, I tweeted about it and I wrote again in the Substack, so I'm going to be bringing that back. I'll talk a little bit about that in the lowdown tonight. Tomorrow, we are recording our. I'll be doing a live show at some point tomorrow, and I'll be recording a Great Western Forum tomorrow that will run on Thursday in the place of a Lakers Lounge episode. So keep an eye out for that. Crazy panel on that one that I'm pretty excited about. So you keep an eye out for that one. And then, from here on out, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Have a great rest of your day. Make somebody else's, and I will talk to you when I talk to you. Thanks, Raj.
Mm-hmm.